Alrighty, guys. Now with the Switch 2 release coming pretty much in the spring next year, we know it's coming sometime next year early. And of course, we know it's going to be an improvement. But a new article has come out. Again, I'll leave a link below. You can check out the full article. But it looks like the new Switch is only going to support 1440p and 1080p. Now, to me, this makes sense. It's not going to be a 4K gaming system. Because if you look at the Xbox right now, the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5, those systems are going to be way stronger than the than the Switch 2 when it comes out. Those two systems are going to be a lot more powerful. So, of course, I expect 1080p handheld gaming. I expected the screen to be 1080p and all that. But it looks like when it's docked, it looks like the best you're going to be able to do is 1440p. But I say a lot of games will still just only be 1080p. I mean, that's my prediction on this. Now, you're probably going to have some ports and some Nintendo games that try to get up to 4K and stuff. But my guess is they're going to be saying 4K is possible with the Switch 2. But most games, they're going to fall into the 1440p. And I would say the majority of them will just fall into the 1080p range. That's just going to be my prediction on that. Now, the Switch 2 will be more powerful. We know that. But it's not going to be on the level that we see with an Xbox and a PlayStation 5. That's just the way it's going to be. Nintendo, again, we're not really sure what it's even going to look like. What kind of new innovations will the system have? You know, Nintendo always does something with their systems to make them unique. And I think they'll do something else. Of course, we know it's going to be backwards compatible with digital and physical games. I mean, that has to happen. That has to happen with Nintendo. I mean, it'd be stupid not to. But that will happen. But again, don't go into this expecting to play, I would say, Mario in 4K. I would say just don't expect that. Don't expect the Zelda game in 4K. I would say 1440p is your best bet. And 1080p on a lot of games. You're going to see a lot of impossible ports, just like we see with the Nintendo Switch right now. You're going to see a lot of games that should not be able to run on the PlayStation, on the Switch 2. I got to get that mixed up. But you're going to see a lot of games, you know, that'll run at 1080p or a little bit lower, and they'll be like, well, how did they get that to run on the Switch 2? You know, you're going to see games like that, of course, but for the most part, you're not going to get a game like Grand Theft Auto 6 on the Switch 2, which that would be awesome if you could, handheld on Nintendo, but that's not going to happen. So this is just another thing you have to wonder about Nintendo. It's just not going to happen. I know a lot of people are excited about 4K. They're excited about 4K gaming on the Switch 2, but it's not going to happen. I mean, that's the best way I can put it, the nicest way I can put it. But don't be surprised if, you know, it'll say, oh, the Switch can support 4K. But realistically, you know, I doubt we'll see a Zelda game in 4K or a Mario game in 4K. It's just not going to be strong enough to do it. But we will see. If anybody can pull it off, it is Nintendo. But don't expect, just don't expect a lot of 4K stuff from this system. And of course, handheld mode is, I would say, will be the dominant way people play will be handheld, but just don't expect when you dock it, be like, well, I'm gonna dock this game. It's in 1080p. When I dock it, it's gonna be 4K. Just don't expect that. Expect 1440p, which is still great in my opinion. If they can squeeze out 1440p games on this system, I think that will be just great all on its own. But again, as Nintendo has proven, and Nintendo there'll probably be like some backlash about this eventually. They'll be like, well, the Switch 2 can't even do 4K games. But then you'll see, of course, the Switch 2, they'll have, just amazing games and all that. Because it does come down to amazing games at the end of the day. That's what it comes down to. And I think that's what we will see on the Switch 2. And that's what matters the most. Because the Switch, it's a powerhouse. And whatever that Switch 2 is called, whether it's Super Switch, Super Duper Switch, or whatever it is, I'm just joking around, but whatever it's called, it's going to be I think it's going to be like, I think Super Switch would be a great name for it, but I don't think they'll do that. But we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, that's my thoughts on this. Again, look at the article below. Look at the full link below. You can check it out for yourself. You know, I'm sure there may be some old games that's not very intensive that can run games in 4K and stuff like that. But you're not going to get much. You're really not going to get much out of that. That's just my thoughts on this. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up. We'll see you, as always, next time. And remember, as always, destiny is all. Toodles.